So today I'm going to film a random talk video, and this video is going to be all about the Nashville season 4 finale. So a couple of weeks ago I made a video talking about how Nashville had been cancelled, aka it was not going to be renewed for season 5, and that I was devastated that that was going to happen, and I still am pretty devastated about it. I'm not really happy about that. I really wish we had gotten a season 5, especially after the season 4 finale, because I was freaking out whenever I saw the finale. So, just to clarify, I watched the Nashville season 4 finale last week whenever it came out, and I was really freaking out at that time, so I decided to wait a couple of days, cool off, so to speak, and then watch the episode again, and I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on it, hopefully in a calmer way than I would have if I had made this video just after I watched the finale. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this season finale, and also just talk about that in general, and talk about how I'm upset that there's not going to be a season 5 of Nashville. However, there might still be hope for us. I know that everyone on Twitter, including myself, have been campaigning hashtag bring back Nashville. Has been a big thing all over my Twitter feed lately, and obviously I've been contributing when I can. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that, and I'm really sorry for the spamming, but I really love this show and want to see it. But yeah, so basically I think we are trying to get Lionsgate to pick up Nashville again for season 5, and I really hope they do, because I really need a season 5, okay? I really need to know what's going to happen, because they left season 4 off on a huge cliffhanger, and I'm not okay with that. So yeah, okay. Well, in my last video where I talked about Nashville, I basically talked about everything that had happened in season 4 so far, and I talked about how a lot of those storylines were probably not going to get a proper ending, because I didn't see how Nashville could wrap up all those storylines in one episode. However, it feels like they kind of did. Literally, I was talking about how I wanted everyone to have a happy ending, and almost everyone did in the season 4 finale, so I'm kind of happy about that. I mean, if we had to end here, which I really don't want us to, but if this really was the final episode of Nashville, I guess I'm okay with it, for the most part. I mean, there is definitely one thing I'm totally not okay with, but you know, everything else, like everyone else seemed to get a happy ending, so I think I'm okay. I think it was a good episode. Maybe not a good final episode since it ended on a cliffhanger, but you know, if the show doesn't get picked up for season 5 and that's where we left off, I think I could be okay with it. And I do mean think, because I mean, I really, okay, I'm going to talk about the thing I'm really upset about, because I can't leave it until the end, because it's going to bug me the whole way through. Okay, Juliet Barnes. Guys, is she alive? Is she dead? What's going on with Juliet? Because that was the thing that I'm devastated about the most, that we will never find out if we don't get season 5. Okay, so basically, in this episode of Nashville, Juliet's life seemed to be falling apart, which has been a running theme in this season. But yeah, so basically, Layla, being the evil person that she is, decides to leak to the media that Juliet was on the roof the same night that Jeff Fordham died. And if you guys watch the show, then we all know what happened there. Juliet was going to commit suicide, but then Jeff stopped her, and he fell off the roof, saving her life. So yeah, that was very dramatic, and I couldn't believe that happened, and I'm still sad that Oliver Hudson left the show to be on Scream Queens. But so that got leaked to the press. Juliet is nominated for an Oscar, so this is not a good time for her to be in the press in a bad way. And obviously Layla's only doing this so that she can prove to Avery that Juliet is still a horrible person, which is such a problem, because, you know, I'm a huge Avery shipper. I need Avery and Juliet to get together, but, you know, because of what happened, we'll never know. So yeah, basically what happens with that is that basically everyone finds out that Layla was the one to leak the Juliet thing to the press, so Layla's all left all alone and sad. I need to talk about that, because I'm actually not okay with that. Like, as much as I love to hate / love to love Layla, I'm not okay with her being alone and sad, even though she kind of deserved it because of all the things that she's been doing lately. She's very manipulative, but like I said in my last Nashville video, she's only being manipulative because she's never anyone's first choice, and she'll always be a, like, lower secondhand version of Juliet Barnes, and that's not cool. And yeah, so feel bad for Layla, but more so Juliet, because Juliet's my favorite character, so I tend to feel more for Juliet than Layla. So yeah, basically, like I said, everyone like finds out that Layla's the one that leaked the story to the press, and so everyone ditches Layla and is in support of Juliet. Juliet makes a settlement with Jeff's sister, who is suing her for wrongful death of Jeff, and Juliet pays her a big settlement, and then that goes away. But Juliet doesn't feel okay with that, because she still feels like a horrible person, and she can't believe that, you know, she pays all these people to make everything go away, like all her problems go away, but that's not the case. Her problems are still there, and so what she decides to do is tell the world that yes, she was on the roof the night that Jeff Fordham died, but that Jeff actually saved her life. And I was so proud of Juliet in that moment. I think everyone was really proud of her for owning up for what she did. I know it was a very hard thing for her to do, but I'm so proud of Juliet. She's made so much progress in the last season, and I just love her so much. And so I was really happy that she told the truth to everyone, and that everything sort of worked out for that. And yeah, so basically what happens with her is that she gets a call from Avery, who says that him and Cadence are still there for her, which is super adorable. And so she decides to leave the Oscars to go back to Nashville to be with her family. And then comes the big news, the cliffhanger. Avery and Cadence are waiting on the tarmac for Juliet to return, and Avery gets told that they lost contact with Juliet's plane, just a little bit outside of Nashville. And yeah, that's what happens. Like, it's just left on a cliffhanger. We don't know what happened to Juliet and her plane. The people received a distress call about her plane, and so yeah, is Juliet alive or not, guys? I can't be okay with this. Like, I'm not. And I think the biggest thing for me right now is not whether she's dead or not. It's that if we're ever gonna find out if she's dead or not. It's about if we find out or not, because I kind of, after my initial shock of watching that and being like, oh my god, did they just kill off Juliet? I turned to a little bit of rational thinking, and I was thinking that maybe the reason why they are deciding to do this to Juliet's character is because the actress that plays her, Hayden Panettiere, is still suffering from postpartum depression, and as far as I know, I think she went back into treatment for that, and so I guess it kind of makes sense for them to kill off Juliet's character if it means the actress is still seeking help for her postpartum depression. And so I could totally understand if that's why they're deciding to kill off Juliet's character. But what I don't accept is that we're not going to know if she's dead or not until we get season 5. And the chances of us getting season 5 seem very slim at the moment. So yeah, I'm not okay with not knowing whether she's going to survive or not. In my head, I kind of hope that she did survive and her and Avery live happily ever after. I mean, if there was ever going to be an ending for Juliet, that's all we really want. And so, yeah, like, I just, my whole problem is we're not going to know if she's dead or not. It's not whether they actually killed off her character. I mean, yes, I will be upset if they decided to kill off Juliet's character, because, like I said, Juliet's one of my favorite characters on the show, so to see her go would be really upsetting. But at the same time, if the actress is still struggling with her postpartum depression and she needs help for that, I fully support her getting her help that she needs, because that's a big thing. So, yeah, that's my problem. We'll just never know, and that's the only thing, I guess, that I'm not really okay with. A couple other things that we'll never really know what happens is with Layla. Do people ever appreciate her for who she is, or is she always going to be in Juliet's shadow? Second thing that we'll never really know anything about is Teddy. Did we all just forget about him again? I mentioned this in my last episode too. Like, can we not forget that Teddy's a character on this show? Yes, he went to prison for whatever, but I mean, he's still a part of the show. We need to know what happens to him. I hope he gets a happy ending too, because he's been through a lot, and he's only been through a lot because of Jeff Fordham, and Jeff Fordham's not in the show anymore, so I think Teddy should catch a break. But yeah, okay, other than those few things that we'll never really know the answers to unless we get season 5, pray we get season 5, because I really want Nashville to continue as a show, because it's really great. But yeah, so those were the things I was not happy about. Everything else on the show, I was super happy about. Everything else seemed to wrap up pretty well, and so I wanted to discuss that really briefly. First thing that got wrapped up pretty fast, which I was actually kind of surprised about, and I kind of wanted the storyline to go out a little bit longer, was the Maddie thing. So in my last video where I talked about Nashville, I was very unhappy that Maddie decided to emancipate from Raina and Deacon. I thought that was a very, like, crazy thing for her to do, and I never really expected it from her. So yeah, I am glad that got resolved and everything worked out for the best, but at the same time I did wish the storyline had dragged out just a little bit longer so we could have seen what Maddie would have been like on her own, even though we know that she's like way too young to make any decisions by herself, and Cash is not a good person either, who in this episode just completely ditched Maddie when she wasn't supposed to. But yeah, so basically what happens with Maddie is that she's signed with this label in New York and she's working with this producer, and Raina finds out that she's working with this creepy producer and wants to put a stop to it, because Raina used to work with that same producer at one point, and it happened when Raina was really young, but whenever she was young she said that the producer forced himself on her, and that was really scary, and Raina didn't want the same thing to happen to Maddie. And Raina is currently in New York because she's hosting a charity concert with her family, and she's trying everything that she can to get in contact with Maddie, and the way she decides to do it is write an open letter to her in, I think it was the Huffington Post, who decided to run the story, but basically they run the open letter that Raina sent to Maddie, hoping that she reads it and realizes how creepy this producer really is. And luckily, Maddie reads the story in time, and she kind of realizes like she's in the wrong place. She's really uncomfortable, and thank the Lord for Deacon being Deacon, because he sees the post that Maddie made about being at this producer's house, and he goes and he saves her. And I mean, I needed that. I needed Deacon to go a little bit crazy and go over to that guy's house, because if Maddie had been raped or anything like that, that would have been too much. It would have been really, really dark. And I definitely didn't see that for Nashville, because that's just, I don't know, that's just something that I would never want for this show, to turn that dark, if you know what I mean. So really glad that Deacon stepped in, and he didn't beat up the producer guy. Can we talk about that? Because I was so proud of him. I was like, oh my gosh, Deacon, finally the time has come. You're not going to beat this guy up. You're just going to take Maddie out of there, and it's going to be all good. So Deacon saves Maddie, and then he goes back to Raina. Maddie's back with the family. Everything's good with them. So I was really happy that it all worked out, but at the same time did want to see what it would have been like if Maddie was on her own for a little bit longer. But yeah, so really glad that worked out. That was one of the things that I was really not sure how it was going to turn out if the show didn't wrap it up in the finale. So good to know that we got a little bit of closure with that. Another thing that we got closure with, which I'm super happy about, is the Will thing. Guys, Will finally realized that it wasn't just his battle to fight about everyone being down on him for being a gay country artist. This was him fighting for everyone and their rights, and I was so happy when he decided to protest. I was like, yes, Will, I'm so proud of you. Him and Luke Wheeler together, and Kevin. Will and Kevin, guys, they kissed. I was so happy. They're getting back together. It was just one of the happiest things. I mean, I've loved Will's storyline ever since he appeared on the show. Like, I just love him. And so for him to finally accept who he is and his role, and like just everything with Will, I'm so happy for him. He's grown so much, and I'm so proud of him. And like I said, I'm super happy for him and Kevin to be together. I'm really happy about that. So I'm really glad that all worked out for him and things were good. And yeah, so that was another thing that worked out for the better. Also, Luke is a better person. So yeah, in my last video I also talked about how I didn't really like Luke Wheeler to begin with, but he's grown on me ever since he helped with the Will thing, and he's also just become a really nice person. He's become a lot better than he used to be whenever he was with Raina, so I'm really proud of him for that. I'm really happy for him. I'm also really glad that he was able to rebuild his relationship with Colt, so yay for that. It's good to see all these characters doing well. I mean, I'm really happy that they managed to tie up as many things as they did in this finale, because like I said, even if we don't get season 5, at least a lot of the storylines will be sort of finished up, except for the Juliet thing, because I'll never forgive them for that. But yeah, so everyone else sort of had their happy ending. I feel like there was something else that I had to talk about, or maybe I've talked about everything. Ooh, no, I haven't. Oh my gosh. The last thing that I had to talk about, where everything turned out right in the end, the exes, guys. The exes. Wow, we've been through so much with them, and now this. Okay, Gunnar and Scarlett together again. Hallelujah, because if they weren't going to get together this time, I don't know when it would have happened, and I would have been so upset if the exes had broken up. Okay, so, yeah. So Scarlett tells Gunnar she loves him, and Gunnar's like, oh, but I actually hooked up with Autumn. I think in my last video I called her April, but I meant Autumn. But yeah, so Gunnar slept with Autumn, and that's kind of awkward because, they're on tour with Autumn, but Scarlett's also in love with Gunnar. Like, it's a whole love triangle thing going on. And then Autumn tries to convince Gunnar that Scarlett only told him that she loved him because she wanted to control him and manipulate him to stay in the band or something like that, which was stupid. And then Scarlett just goes to Gunnar and is like, no, I'm not doing this to manipulate you or anything. I actually just love you. And I was so proud of Scarlett for finally admitting that because, they've been through a lot, the exes, in a lot of time. And so for that to be wrapped up is really good. And then they were on stage, and then they sung, and then they kissed, and it was just wonderful. Again, just like happiness because everyone's getting together and everything was fine. Literally everything that I wanted to happen happened in this episode, and I was so glad, so yay. And so yeah, I think that is everything that I wanted to say about this Nashville episode. Like I said, I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a really good episode, and if this is the final episode of Nashville, then I would be okay with that because it was a really good episode. The only thing I'm not okay with is the Juliet thing, obviously. If this was the final episode of Nashville and the writers knew it was going to be the final episode, I'm sure they would have made it so that Juliet got off that plane and she could be with her family, because that's really one of the things that everyone wanted. But, and yeah, hopefully though, like I said, we can still rally for season 5 of Nashville. I know that there is like a petition going on online where you can sign to show your support for the cause of renewing Nashville season 5. So if you guys also want to sign the petition, I will leave a link to that in the description below. And you can also join in on Twitter, start a Twitter account, do the hashtag Bring Back Nashville thing, and see what happens, because I still kind of have a little bit of hope for the show. I mean, I guess you guys can sort of tell by this video that I've kind of accepted that Nashville probably won't be renewed for season 5, and I've had some time to accept that. I have a feeling though that if the finale of season 5, or the finale of season 4 rather, had gone completely differently and we didn't get as much closure as we did in this episode, that I would be making a completely different video where I'm not okay with the show being cancelled. But after that finale episode, I think I'm kind of okay. But I mean, always, like with any TV show, I do hope there's another season just because I love this show so much. And also so we find out what happens with Juliet. And yeah, so I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else to say, other than like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to Juliet, although I've already said that. So yeah, I guess that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And also, like I said, if you guys want to sign the petition to bring back Nashville, I will leave that in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys. Like, there's been so much going on in this show recently that I don't know how it's how it's being cancelled, because it's been so good. Although I guess like everyone says that about shows that they love that's been cancelled. I mean,